right, welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Harder Show. I am here with my co-host, Abby.
What's up, James?
And our guest this week for this Hometown Hustle series is Jeremy Goldberg. Jeremy,
hello,
welcome
everybody.
to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thanks for making it, man. Let's kick it off with a little introduction. Who is Jeremy Goldberg?
I am Jeremy Goldberg. Real excited to be here in Chicago. I live in New Jersey, grew up in New Jersey, and am proud to run what we are calling the Liberty Corridor. So New York, New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware. I am lucky to be able to lead an amazing team in those markets.
Awesome. Give us a little of your backstory. How did you get to Renovo? Where'd you grow up? Just give us a little taste of Jeremy's history.
So I've been at Renovo for about 3 years. I am really grateful, excited to be part of this team, this company, you guys. Previously, I worked for a family office in New Jersey, so doing similar loans, kind of dating back to before we were called private credit, before asset-based loan, before they had fancy kind of names for us when we were...
It was just hard money.
Yeah, we were hard money.
Yeah.
And as, you know, a New Jersey native, I think the first time my parents heard that I was into hard money, they thought I was, you know, knocking on doors with a baseball bat and going to get it back. So it took a little time to explain that it's not that kind of hard money. This is hard assets that we are lending on. So, you know, I go back about 8-9 years lending in this world. I guess if I went kind of backward from there, I was a borrower of that same family office before I was lending with them. So I was an investor and flipping some houses, poorly, not well, and collecting some rentals that thankfully I've sold off since because they were also not smart. But you know, definitely got my feet wet in the investing world and the real estate world. Boots on the ground, you know, learning from tons and tons of mistakes and, you know, just trying to get a little bit better. And then if you go back before I was, you know, the reason I was flipping houses is because my wife and I had a moderately, decently successful career in the restaurant world. We had both kind of come from cooking side of things and built up a business of restaurants in Miami and New Jersey. And we were young and got lucky and had kids and kind of figured out quickly that I better figure out something out of the restaurant world. So
you jumped into real estate investing.
Yeah, exactly. So if I was a glutton for punishment in one way, why not do it in another way?
I think that's like one of my favorite fun facts about you is going from cooking to closing. And what kind of cuisine was it?
From cooking to closing. I love
thanks.
that.
There's
Look
a lot
at you
of
guys
good
prepared
I thought
for
about
this.
that last night. And I was like, that's a good
Is that you or
Yeah,
that's
it is.
ChatGPT?
No, I swear to God, I
Good
thought
for
of
you,
that.
Abby. I like that.
Yeah.
I love that he thought it was ChatGPT, though.
I know, you can't say anything authentic anymore without people thinking that, but I put it in my notes app when I was laying in bed last night. I was like, oh, that's a good way to put it.
That's very good. Almost as good as the Liberty Corridor, which is...
I actually didn't know about that.
That's ChatGPT. Well, you know, that was my coach and ChatGPT and us having conversations. That one worked.
Cuisine. What were you cooking?
Cuisine. Before owning a place, I came up as a prep cook, dishwasher. You know, we were, and I say we because my wife was, you know, doing the same thing. We were from the bottom, grunted our way out into waiters and bartenders and managers and put a couple quarters together and opened our first small place. I mean, this was a process of stuff. So cuisines we came up with was kind of, we were fine dining. We met at the Culinary Institute of America up in Hyde Park, New York. So pretty cool spot to learn. It was a very highly disciplined, rigid environment to come out of high school and go into. And, you know, fine dining was what most people in that era were kind of striving for. So my background was fine dining. By the time we opened our first place, we were 27, something along those lines. And our first spot was kind of a small 60-seat place in Coral Gables, Miami, which is close to the University of Miami. And it had been 30 restaurants in 30 years. And we kind of came in with no money and, not able to make a nice place by any means, and really focused on just good food and good service. So my wife was the chef, and I would run the business in the front of the house. My wife's from Mexico City. I am, a Jewish guy from New Jersey. And at the time, that was a pretty cool kind of hybrid in the Miami market, Latin, Jewish, Northeast America, just a lot of the people that were living down there at that time identified with, some of those cultures. So we really mixed those and just had a cool place that we really cared about our clients. And
what was it called?
Our first place was called Route 9, which was the street that the Culinary Institute of America is on in Hyde Park. So it was our kind of love story.
I love that.
And it was cool. It was. We had a really good run, and we were young and no kids, and we could work 80 hours a week, and we could not, no vacations for 10 plus years, and not much time off. But we were just living on the thrill of what was going on and living out our dream, and it was a cool time.
Is there anything you learned from that world that still shows up in how you run your team today?
Everything.
Yeah.
From the discipline of culinary school and making sure that your chef clothes are fully white and that your toque is correct and that you're shaven and that you show up professionally. And then just to the extreme of hospitality. I think it's, for me, as somebody who was a career change, I didn't come up in the finance world. I didn't come up in the real estate world. I did go back to school to kind of sharpen some skills and learn it. But the small amount of success that I've had in this business, I think, is because I take care of people. I really care about people. So the same way that Pal and I really cared about our customers in the restaurant and how their meal was and how their experience was, and that it was worth the money to come and spend it with us and spend the time with us, definitely translate. It's very simple. I'm not selling food. We're selling a loan product. But the concept of caring about the client and wanting them to succeed and, having a small part of that and that motivation is, really similar.
Yeah. Well, you're in a competitive market, so I assume the customer service edge that you guys have is really helpful.
We're in, I guess the center of finance of the world. New York City is, our office is in Hoboken, which is, right over the river. We look at New York City from our windows. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of, right? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But it's true. It's as competitive as it gets. There's a lot of money there. There's a lot of people putting their own money out. There's a lot of our competition in terms of lenders. And I think the edge that we've been able to kind of win with as a team is we really care about these people and we spend the time to try to help them succeed. And, a loan is not just a loan to us. It's definitely a relationship. And I think, it's not normal for people to shake hands with their quote unquote bank or their financer. And for us, it's really not normal for us to do business with people that we haven't shaken hands with. So I think that's been a big help.
A lot of crossover, I think, with the restaurant hospitality world and what we do. very. I mean, Abby and I were deep into the book Unreasonable Hospitality, right, which is a fantastic book for anybody who hasn't read it. But the parallels, I think, to the way that, maybe not to all lending per se, but like the way that we run the business here at Renovo, I think there's a ton of parallels. I hadn't thought about it really with your background as much in that light, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You mentioned your office. Tell us a little bit about your office culture that you currently have. How many people are going into the office now?
Our office culture is phenomenal. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of this this company and this gig. So here we are in Chicago, right? So we have the best example that you could have. From the second I walked into Renovo for my first interview, you know, going in and seeing the buzz that was the energy and, you know, the smile, genuine smiles, and then meeting Kevin and Daniel and Ramey, you know, the executive team. James I had already met, you know, James was the first person here that I actually met.
This guy took every interview in his car. Every interview.
With your do good hat.
He's like stopped in a parking lot on the side of the road, talking to me with his phone propped up on the steering wheel every time.
Confusing them. They're like, do we really want to give him another interview? The guy's in his f***ing car. But it's just, you know, it's a great, so you're walking, you know, it's just a great example of what an office should be.
Yeah.
Again, I came from a restaurant world where our bartenders, our servers, our dishwashers. I mean, Pal and I, we had dishwashers who had become our executive chefs at places.
Yeah.
That community thing was so important to us, and frankly was the only way not to like go out of your mind. I mean, you'd be really lonely working 80 hours with people that you didn't want to work with. I always said that entrepreneurship is, it's massively different than most people get. It's lonely. The restaurants, it was a lonely thing to do by yourself. I mean, luckily I had my wife, but it's, you're not really with it. There's not colleagues because everyone's either a client or working for you or, getting paid. And so that was important to us to figure that out.
Yeah.
And coming into the finance world, my transition, I signed up. I don't know how I got in or how I finished it, but I did end up going to Georgetown and doing a master's in real estate finance.
Okay.
And so I had a massive amount of exposure to people in different parts of the real estate world. And there wasn't many people that were excited about what they were doing. They were excited about the potential, the future, what might happen, but I was, I was new in this business at my old shop, but it was a cool industry and I was really excited. And then when I saw and when I walked into Renovo, it was like, holy shit, this is really cool. So when we opened the Hoboken office, in the beginning it was just a couple of us and now it's grown into a pretty cool team. It was really important to try to bring the restaurants and try to bring the Kevin and Dan, the Renovo executive team, and the stuff that we'd learned there.
Yeah.
And starting from the physical space that we were in, it's a bit of a drive for me. I'm in the burbs with a family. So for me, it could take an hour to get in there, but it was important to be there in Hoboken and with the atmosphere there and the energy of what's going on. And most of our team lives around that area, and it was important that they, had it easier than me to get in and that they wanted to be there. And I think, when people walk in, they're pretty excited. I think the team, they like going.
Hey, they had a lot to say about you, and I always ask the pods before I help James.
That sounded ominous.
No, it's a good thing. I should have been a little bit
what
more
was that?
sincere
They had a
sounding
lot
about it.
Is that part of this pod? Is that what's going on here?
Well, I always like to get a little bit of fun little things you guys might do together, whatever, it helps with questions. So when I spoke to them, I have a few. Do you want to hear them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, first of all, you have a plant in the office. that apparently you take care of like it's a child of yours. And they were trying to and couldn't get it, but they said that they'll see Jeremy literally like focusing, cutting off the dead leaves and everything. And this plant is like your child. So what type of plant is this?
What a analogy to life, cutting off the dead leaves, taking care. This is a money tree.
Oh, it's
right?
a money
so
tree?
we gotta start here that this is a money tree.
Okay.
And so far it's granted some luck and success in that office. So we don't want to don't screw with what's working. I have no green thumb whatsoever.
It sounds like you do.
Sounds like you
it
do,
sounds
yeah.
like you do, whether you
Wow,
like it
it's
or
funny.
not.
Maybe I think I am giving this thing overall attention. I think I'm scared for the fucking thing to die. I mean, it's been good luck. I feel like it would be like the bad omen if something happens to this
I
thing.
love this. I love this. I did not know this about you.
I didn't either.
It is flourishing. I left John feeling so in the summer we don't, we have we're all working from the office X amount of days during the year, and come Memorial Day to Labor Day, I'm pretty lenient with how it goes. Similar to here in Chicago, we all wait for that time for everything, and some people want to be at the beach, and some want to be at the lake, and some want to be in their house, and some just don't want to be inside. And frankly, I think everybody really deserves that
Some outdoor
opportunity
time.
to if they're gonna do their thing. So summertime, we're more lax at the office. So John Phelan was in charge of the plant over the summer.
How did that go?
He watered it incredibly. The
Oh,
thing
good.
flourished. But when I tell you that I came in, after a few weeks of not seeing it, and it was bushes everywhere. I mean, it was gigantic. He was so proud, and he should be. He took care. But it needed some trimming. Like Mr. Miyagi. I mean, this is Karate Kid stuff here.
Yeah.
Does the plant have a name?
No, plant does not have a name.
No, we gotta think about
That's shocking.
that.
We got to work on that.
Yeah.
We got to work on it. We'll come up with it. We'll come up with it this week.
When did Birkenstocks enter your life?
The hard-hitting questions are coming.
Wow. When did Birkenstocks? I don't have them, but I usually wear the
hoping that you
Bostons.
wore them. Do you wear them with socks or no? No socks.
These days, no. But
Okay.
growing up, I was a big fan of the Allman Brothers, of Fish, and of those jam bands, and they were an influence on my life, and man, they came out and they've stuck all these
That's
years. I
amazing.
mean, 20 plus years we're still rocking them.
What's
love
the
it.
oldest pair of Birkenstocks that you currently still wear?
They're not old anymore. But if we went back to that era where there was massive pride in like how worn down the sole was, I mean, there was definitely a 10-year pair in there. There was, and they were like fully down and hard to give up.
I believe that.
Hard to give up.
It's amazing. One more thing from your pond that I spoke with is your glasses clip. They say that you have a very special clip.
Oh, he had it on earlier.
You want to see
Did
it?
you?
I took it
we
off
have to
because
see
I didn't
it,
want to be
He had it on. I
embarrassed
was like,
here.
what is that?
Daniel also. So this is great. The glasses clip. I think it was on Shark Tank.
Show it to the
You
camera.
got to show the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I should own a piece of this thing because I've been walking. I'm getting older. I'm 43 years old now. In the same month this year, I had I need glasses for reading, and I need insoles for my shoes. A double whammy.
It's all happening at once?
It's all happening. I can barely get out of bed in the morning. So my 13-year-old was in at the orthodontist, and this great guy in our town. And he had one of these clips. Watch this. So he had one of these clips on, and he had a clip, and I had just gotten these glasses, and I'm like, they're a pain. I don't like putting them here.
Oh,
They're
it
getting
goes
dirty.
on the inside.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a magnet.
did you see how excited you just were?
I'm a little curious. Wow.
Oh, exactly.
That is impressive.
So
It's cooler than I thought it was, Jeremy's pod.
well, my kid is like, Dad, stop that. You know, like the glasses are tough enough. Like you're going a little nerdy on me.
Yeah.
You're not doing the clip with the clip height.
It's like a modern pocket protector. I totally get why a kid would give you a hard time.
It is like I do too. I do too.
But the utility is there.
It's pretty functional.
Yeah.
Should I keep it on for the? I'll keep it on for the rest of the pod.
Yeah.
Why not?
There you go.
It is cooler than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being honest.
Don't
with
be
you.
distracted.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a mic or something. When I first saw you earlier today, I was like, "What is that?"
He came mic'd up on his own.
I was like, you didn't have to bring your own mic.
Daniel thought it was a medical device.
Just wear it the rest of the night. Let's just see what everybody thinks it is.
I think it's great. I'm a big fan.
Thank you, Abbott.
Tell us a little bit about your family, your kind of bits and pieces, but you have your wife, obviously, that we've talked about.
I do. I have my
Kids.
wife. We just celebrated our 18th anniversary this
Congratulations.
weekend.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Pretty amazing. For her that she stuck through this. I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 daughters, a 13-year-old Allison and a 5-year-old Isabella. I am really lucky. I'm going through it with teenage years with the one, but she's the best of the best, and I think she still loves me these days most of the time. And my 5-year-old definitely still loves me. So she's like, she's in that age of showing the affection.
When does it start to when do you question it a little bit?
Are we on the parenting advice?
Yeah.
11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
She's 13 now. However old she is right now. No, she still gives me the love.
Yeah.
They are my life. Renovo is one of the great things about Renovo and that I admire about our leadership is how they treat their families and the importance of family to everybody here. And when I, was picking a team, for me, like a lot of you guys, it's my most important part. And I love this gig and everything, but they're number one. And so to have a company that supports that and pushes that is
it's huge.
Unbelievable.
We talked about that a little
I
in
talk
Vegas.
about that all the time.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about Renovo, for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about your market. Let's get back to the real estate side of things a little bit. You have a pretty big coverage area, but New Jersey is, I think, the heart of your business, correct? Would you say?
Yeah, so New Jersey, where we started this market and, growing from.
Yeah. What are some of the big challenges that you're seeing in the market right now? Are there any things going on that your customers are talking to you about in terms of, challenges that they're having to overcome?
We're lucky. We're in a really good market. New Jersey is a very small state by area, but a awkwardly large influence in what we do.
It's a very dense place.
It is the most densely populated state in the country.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
And a big part, when you come to the state, a lot of people will split us by our exit on the parkway. So we start down at 0 which is down toward Delaware and go up to whatever, 200, whatever. And it's the mile marker. And you pretty much split it in half in the mid hundreds, and you have kind of starting from the Jersey Shore in the central south side on kind of the east coast where it's coastal, and you kind of go in from there even to like the Philly markets, the suburbs of Philly. They're not nearly as densely populated. So when we talk about it, it's really the North Jersey that has the massive influence on that stat. So Essex counties, Bergen counties, Passaic counties, Union, Hudson. So we're talking everything from the Jersey cities and Hobokens, which are, big cities right outside of New York, Newark, Patterson's, to the suburbs, which, were, when I was a kid growing up in the suburb, were primarily made up of people commuting into New York City. It was, a lot of our parents as kids were one way or another doing something in New York or something that had to do with the New York City market. So we are very much based on New York City. The people that live in our area are heavily influenced. The work is heavily influenced. The speed is very fast. Things move quickly. People move quickly. Decisions are made quickly. Real estate is maybe the best in the world. It's if not the best, it's the top in the world. A place that everyone kind of wants to be. So we're lucky in terms of the pace of the market. We're not the Floridas that will have the big jumps and then the big falls and the jumps and falls. We're just, since I'm a kid, it's a nice, steady market. And for what we do, that's pretty awesome. It's
definitely.
It's easy to kind of go out a few years and try to think of where things are going to be, and appraisals and that kind of stuff land up being easier because, you don't have those big jumps. I think the biggest stuff right now, there's maybe too much capital out there.
Yeah.
And I think there's, depending on who you work with, there's maybe not enough responsibility taken on our side, on people who are lending side. And I think that's one of the things that Renovo has really made a big deal since they started. Some examples, liquidity or credit scores or the amount of experience a borrower has. Renovo has boxes that like to be checked partially because as a lender, you want to get paid back, and that's the toughest part of this. And so it's important to, make sure you're lending to the right people. But there's another part of it, which is it's just good business for the borrower. Mm-hmm. It's important for a borrower to have liquidity to go through times, and it's important that they keep their credit up because they got to be paying their bills and they don't want to have too much debt, and their credit card shouldn't be run up. And experience is important because, a borrower shouldn't go jump into a 10-unit building if they've only built single-family houses before.
Yeah.
And it's the standards that kind of are put in place can sometimes be misconstrued as a lender trying to be difficult. But sometimes too much money comes in and it makes it hard for these guys to succeed. When people are just giving funds on loans that aren't necessarily the smartest thing.
Yeah.
But these are sophisticated people for the most part. They need to take responsibility for their stuff, the borrowers, but I believe it's our responsibility, even though we're not regulated the same as a bank. But I think there's a fiduciary responsibility for us, and it's not just because you get in trouble if you don't do it, but just kind of morally, it's the right thing to do is to help people succeed. Again, in our market, it's a very predictable market. People have been succeeding in real estate in the New York City suburbs for forever, in New York City forever. Most of the people that succeed have followed somewhat of a similar path, and they've done things. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel too much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not outliers and people that don't do it, but I think that there's a good strategy that's been set out in our market because it's been done so many times before. And I think, the borrowers are best off following that. And I like to guide them to do something along those same lines. And, in a time like this when there's a lot of capital out there that wants to be placed, sometimes, people will place money for things that aren't necessarily going to help the borrower.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. There's definitely a tremendous amount of capital out there right now. And that is, I see and hear it all the time, but that is definitely driving credit discipline, I would say, just down. Like, the discipline, not every firm, I think, has the kind of discipline that I think we try to instill in our process. And I think that's certainly being felt. But I think the reason, and I totally understand borrowers who might, look at some of that as like, oh, it's more friction. But I think we've been doing this a long time very successfully. And I think, we're trying to help people on the other side, our customers be successful. And also we want to be around for a long time, you know? And I think the borrowers sometimes get wrapped up in what can I get? But that doesn't always mean it's a great deal for you. And we want them to be around for a long time also. And that's really where it comes from at the end of the day. So I think that was an interesting point. How much loan volume did you do last year, 2025?
2025.
I know it was a long time ago.
Dude, somewhere in the 220 range.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of building out this market, so we are we're starting to focus more on market as a whole. We're really building toward $1 billion market. Our goal is in 2029 that our market, this Liberty Corridor.
Liberty Corridor.
We got to get some gear made in Liberty Corridor.
That is our $1 billion year. So interestingly, it's been the past 8 years of kind of being my own solo originations. And then a couple of years ago, started bringing some LOs into the same umbrella. And so there's a real big focus these days on the market as a whole.
I love it.
And having the team crush it and have everybody really grow, and however I can kind of help them.
Well, you've got some killers on that team, so I like your chances.
We've got some killers.
Now, I believe the Scotsman Guide list of top originators came out recently. Do you know what number you ended up on?
I do. We got number 2. We did number 2 in fix and flip loans.
Number 2 in fix and flip, and you got number 6 overall.
And number 6 overall with the DSCR loans, which is a newer,
Congrats, that's awesome.
I don't know.
Congratulations.
From what was it? From cooking to
Cooking
closing?
to closing. Yeah, that's your tagline.
That's another gear. We got to get some more gear that's cooking to closing.
Yeah.
It's surreal.
Yeah.
It is. I am really lucky to work with some really amazing people who have, we get to, in Renovo, I'm lucky that it says Goldberg team, but for me, that's a generally uncomfortable thing because we have this group that's been building, for 3 years and it's pretty awesome team to go at this with.
Absolutely. You have an all-star squad for sure. I definitely wanted to make sure that we got to congratulate you on your Scotsman Guide ranking. Incredible accomplishment.
Thank you.
Much more to come.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other questions do I have here? Let's move to some fun ones.
All right.
I was thinking the Birkenstock took that.
Well, yeah.
I thought that's what that
I had
was.
a lot of fun questions for you coming in here today, but what I love about you is that you're just the most genuine person, and you truly are, and you just have the best energy and the best vibes.
You do bring vibes.
So my question is what pisses you off? Do you have a pet peeve or something? Because I can't.
Besides not watering the money plant.
Besides the money plant issues.
First off, thank you. Again, I think you guys bring out the best in me. I can't stand people who drive in the left lane and they're going slow. Is that? Am I allowed to could that be one?
Is that the most Jersey thing about you?
Oh my God, I can't stand that.
That is a very Jersey thing.
That's pretty up there, right? That's pretty up there.
What does no left turn mean? While we're on the drive.
What does no left turn? We have jug handles. Do you know?
No, I don't know anything.
We have a lot of jug handle turns in New Jersey. So when you're going up, instead of making a left, you will have the right jug handle almost U-turn. So we don't have many left-hand turns.
Interesting.
We're the only state where you're not allowed to pump your own gas still. Is that in your notes?
Well, I didn't know if that was true.
It is true.
I don't even understand. So you have to wait for somebody to come pump your gas?
You get to wait for somebody to pump your gas.
It's all in how you frame it, Abby.
I guess.
We are full serve everywhere. Wintertime, you don't have to get out. It's pretty.
Do you tip the gas guy?
Nice.
As people from the restaurant industry, we are notoriously big tippers, my wife and I, so we tip everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's normal, but I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
There you go. I love that.
Along the lines of Jersey stuff that I just had no idea. Pork roll or Taylor ham?
North Jersey is Taylor ham. So if you would cut that Garden State Parkway in half, you're going to Taylor ham, egg, and cheese in North Jersey. And down south, they will call it pork roll.
What is Taylor ham?
They're both kind of, they're not good. They're kind of nasty.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
similar to Canadian bacon, like a worse version. It's pork roll is what it is, and Taylor is the company that made it famous. So,
Sure.
So are they effectively the same thing? They just call them two different things?
well, it would be like hot dogs and Hebrew National hot dogs. Taylor is the
okay.
Hebrew
Got it.
National hot dog of.
Got
Okay.
it. A little upscale
roll.
version.
Yeah.
Yes.
In air quotes. Yeah, I gotcha.
Jersey Shore or The Sopranos?
Jersey Shore, one or the other, both. I mean, that's not
Both
comparing
ends.
apples to apples. Fun fact: I grew up in a town called North Caldwell, New Jersey. We did not have a street light. We did not have a store. We were a pretty small suburb of New York City. One day, the Unabomber did his last bombing in our town, so that would be the negative part of this. About a year later, maybe 2 years later, 2 houses down from the Unabomber's house is Tony Soprano's house. So
Really?
the Sopranos took over our town.
Oh, wow.
And when I was in junior high, through my high school year, that was a pretty cool era.
So the
fun
house from
fact.
the show is in your hometown?
Tony's house is in my hometown. Johnny Sachs's house was on my street.
Really?
So yes, we were, all of the restaurants and
Wow.
all of that stuff is actual stuff in New Jersey, and there are tours of Sopranos that go on, and they go on in our area for
Wow.
sure.
That's cool.
That
That's a
is
great fun
very
fact.
cool.
Yeah.
That didn't come up in your research.
No, it didn't, but that's pretty cool.
But the Jersey Shore is a summer spot and
Yeah.
place. We are Berkshire's people, actually. So we're more. We are the lake house. We like to do the lake thing in Western Mass,
Yeah.
and in the summers is our deal.
Very cool. Bagels, yes or no?
Jewish guy from Jersey.
Yeah, figured you'd say
Yeah.
yes. What is your bagel order?
What's my bagel order? Would be a plain bagel, cream cheese, lox, tomato, little onion,
Perfect.
No capers?
Yeah.
no capers.
No capers
I'm
for
not a
you?
huge caper person either, honestly.
I like capers on some things.
Yeah.
Is
not
the
a big-
bagel one of those things?
I got to tell you, I've never been able to get into the lox on a bagel. I do like bagels, but I like the cream cheese. I'm more of a traditional bagel guy, but the lox, fish and breakfast, I can't really get my
funky.
brain
Get that.
around.
It's
You know what I
It's
mean?
funky. 12 years we lived in Miami. So in my life, I've lived 12 years out of the Northeast. Bagels and pizza are the two things food-wise, that I for sure missed the most.
How
Yeah.
about pizza style?
Pizza's I mean, we're in Chicago.
yeah.
This is not pizza. Sorry. Jersey pizza is tough to beat. I mean, I'll shout out 100 of my favorites
Yeah.
that are Dave Portnoy, loves to go around
Oh, yeah.
and do his thing, and
Yeah.
we love our pizza.
Yeah. How do you order
Shout out
it?
Angeloni's. You guys are the best. How do you order? Either plain well done or pepperoni well done.
Okay. You know what else I learned? Birthplace of Bruce Springsteen. Are you a Bruce fan? We were talking about fish earlier,
Another
though.
one. You can't be from Jersey and not
Yeah.
a Bruce fan.
Yeah.
Asbury Park is Stone Pony,
Mm-hmm.
famous as it gets. We will be. Paul is still dodging me for this bet. We're supposed to
Oh,
we're
yeah,
supposed to
the
take the
dinner
whole
thing,
team out,
right?
and
Yeah.
and I have told him I'm putting my foot down, and we're going Asbury Park, Stone Pony this summer. We're bringing the teams and giving them a Jersey Shore
Oh, that's amazing.
extravaganza.
Oh, I love that.
So home of Bruce.
You should rent the Jersey Shore house.
I thought you were just going to say we would rent the Jersey Shore as a whole.
Yeah, that too.
Rent the Jersey Shore house would be pretty fantastic. Oh, that's what you were asking, Sopranos or Jersey
I
Shore.
wasn't gonna correct
Yeah, the
you.
show.
I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking the show.
I
I
know.
was. So
Yeah.
you were comparing apples to apples. Also, don't know which is. Jersey Shore was pretty incredible for us.
Favorite Jersey Shore cast member?
I mean, Mike, the situation
yeah.
was. He was. I think the best. Still
Yeah.
the best.
Good.
This guy is still crushing it. He's a big proponent of he's sober. He looks
Sobriety, yeah.
amazing. The guy, he's a big Jersey, brings a lot of attention to us, and the guy's like pretty good example of went from that movie being, I think, the biggest asshole on the show to being a pretty respectable, awesome person.
Gym Tan Laundry.
GTL. GTL. What an era that was, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Who's yours? You have a favorite from that show?
Well, the one that sticks out the most in my mind is Snooki, because she was like a cartoon character.
She's the best.
But yeah, the situation. Mike was great.
Pauly D is great.
Pauly D was great.
Pauly D was the
Pauly D was
DJ,
good,
right?
too.
Yeah, he was.
His hair was unbelievable.
What a whole thing.
Absolutely
They were all pretty good. That was
Yeah, they were great.
Casting was on point.
Casting was on point.
Absolutely on point.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, I grew up, when you were either like Jewish, Italian, or Greek, where I was, like, I grew up with that stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah, you got a little. It's
you
tight
see
up.
these?
You do have it,
I could
yeah.
pull the chain out and like do the whole thing for you
love
guys.
Chain, clip, hair.
Well, the clip might not
You
go
get best
correct.
dressed for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's a different generation. That's a different thing.
I don't know Tony Soprano in the clip.
No, I don't. I don't think that would fly. I don't think that would fly.
Who was your hero growing up?
My Zadie, my grandfather, came from nothing, Montreal, kind of tough upbringing. Started a paintbrush business and built it into an amazing thing, while family was everything to him. Just I think did it right. Kind of stuck to who he was, and
Zadie, you said?
my Zadie. So Zadie is Yiddish, so Jewish for grandpa.
I love that.
That's awesome.
That is
That's a good one. You thought he was going to say Michael Jordan, didn't you?
Something like that. I wasn't expecting something so sweet. I should have been and heartfelt. But are you reading or watching or listening to anything right now that you're hooked on?
Oh, always. Big reader every day, huge for me. So in the mornings these days is Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Okay.
I've got a good one
Old
into my
school.
morning routine, and I like starting the day with that. Maybe ending the day with some fiction.
Yeah.
What are we watching? Industry. I've been pretty hooked on. I've been binging that. I'm on season 4. Was watching on the plane over here. It's a pretty cool
London finance thing,
London
right?
finance, and
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Ted Lasso, I heard, is coming
Yeah,
back
it's
out,
great.
and you guys gratefully said, how the vibe stuff, and I think that as a show and a leader is somebody that I always, in a nerdy, boring way, whatever it is. I mean, I'm really excited for him to come back out, and the positivity and the.
Yeah, that's a good one. We need more of that vibe in this country these days, or the world, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
Well, this was awesome. Thank you for letting us into your world a little
you,
bit.
Jeremy.
That was awesome.
And sharing, and we really appreciate the time. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye,
Cheers.
guys.